Hey there, Christoph here. I wanted to talk a little bit about managing multiple wallets inside of a single application or wallet application. And this is something the first time I thought about 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, with the Monero GUI, because the same thing kind of happened. And even before that, another designer talked to me about a new project that they're coming up with, and they're having a hard time figuring out how to do this complex multi-wallet management. So it's not super simple, and but it's kind of important to get this right. For the overall architecture of the interface. So I wanted to start very simple by explaining two different approaches. So the first one is wallet first. And I think this is what kind of the current Bitcoin core is. So I'm always inside a wallet. And then I have an option to say, well, let me load another wallet. Let me load a different wallet. So I'm always inside a wallet. And then when I'm in there, I pick the activity. I'm going to look at transactions. I want to send, receive, these types of things. And then here in this example, I will have this little toggle here, then to quickly access a drop down to allow me to switch between my wallets. So I can never take a step back and look at everything. I'm always inside. And this is an example of what that would look like with a few transactions here that are tagged by user, that have proper descriptions, that have the fiat currency conversion and other details. Now, the other approach is the user intent first or activity first. So instead of making it all about wallets, I'm seeing all of my wallets as just, this is my money. These are all my transactions. These are all my finances. So I say, well, I want to look at transactions, or I want to send something right now. This is my mental starting point. And then let's say I'm in my list of transactions, then I have the option to filter it by a single wallet. So here, for example, here would be an indicator. This is from my cold storage wallet. This is from my spending wallet. And so I just see the whole list, and which sometimes can be pretty nice. The downside of this is, if you logically think this through, is that when I go to send or receive, I always have to pick which wallet this is from. Maybe it could always pick, maybe I can hint at my favorite wallet, a star one, and that's the default. Maybe it remembers the previous wallet that I've selected, but there's a lot of kind of wallet selection happening inside of the activities. And people might send things from the wrong wallet if they just forget to pick the one that they want to use. So it's a little bit easier because you start with intent, but it moves complexity a little bit further down. Now, a mixed approach, and this is kind of where my head is currently at, is the wallet first approach, but there's also an overview. So I'm typically inside a single wallet, and the top bar here looks pretty much the same. So I'm here, I can see my transactions, I can send, receive. And then I also have this added button here on the left here. This looks like a traditional old school pocket wallet. And then let's say I click on that, then I get to this wallet overview. So here I see my wallets, I can add a new one. I see how much money I have in each one, how many keys required. Maybe it even tells me the last transaction that was made. Maybe it tells me if there are any transactions in there that I have not looked at yet in this interface. And then let's say I click here on monthly spending, then I would go back to this type of view here, or this one here, where I'm now back inside a wallet. So I have an overview, and I can dip in and out of those two. And it allows for particularly this screen to be very straightforward, and it will also work on mobile because it's simply just, the top bar could turn into a tab bar, and then horizontally the screen could get pretty narrow. Also works for smaller screens if this application runs on other devices. And in addition to this one here could also be tabs here at the top. So I understand now as a user that I'm in this overview perspective, and I can see, I can switch between wallets and transactions. So here wallets is this one here. Transactions then is this transaction list that spans across all of the wallets. And potentially you could imagine that there would be even some graphics here, some charts that maybe analyze my spending if I use things like tagging by business expenses, personal expenses, groceries. If I use other mechanisms of organizing my data, maybe it shows shows me how over the last month my balances have changed. This doesn't have to be a simple list. This could also be a general financial overview for users so they can kind of stay on top of their balances. Very few people use Bitcoin this way these days, but we'll get there. So this is kind of where my head is at right now with this top level structure here. And I'm very curious to hear what you think. So let me know. Thanks.